We are loud, obnoxious, and completely inappropriate. Viewer's discretion is strongly advised.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Coffee Mug Show. This is episode 12, recorded live February 11th, 2019. My name is Leonard, and I'm joined by Derek, and hopefully Mark as well. But we do have a special guest. His name is Chad. I'm not sure if you guys remember from our last our episode 10 during Star Wars. Chad was trying to join us to talk about Star Wars, but he couldn't get his technology up and running. So now he's here. He's here to join us because today is actually Mark's birthday. So we weren't sure if he's actually going to be spending time with the family or spending time with us. So we decided to bring a ringer in. So Chad, welcome, Chad.
Alright. This time I do have the Force.
I'm sorry?
I do have the Force now.
Okay. So Chad, tell us about yourself before we continue the show.
You have a lovely wife.
I do, who's working on her class. She's writing a test. We're all three of us, probably Mark too, is into movies. Don't go see Lego Movie 2.
Is that bad?
It was not that bad. It was not that bad. I mean, admittedly, it wasn't as good as the first, admittedly, but, you know.
Okay. So while we're waiting for Mark, we're going to go ahead and continue the show. So if you guys are watching us live on YouTube and Twitch, our chat rooms are open, so you can watch us there, or actually, read or be part of the chat room. Be part of the chat room, join our conversation, and we'll be I'll be doing Mark's job for today's episode, and so let's begin. Our first topic: Google Plus is shutting down. Do you guys really care? I received an email. So I received an email last week telling me that my Google Plus account is being shut down. Unfortunately, I didn't know that I had one. So last year in December, Google announced and decided that they're going to shut down Google Plus for consumers in April 2019. According to Google, it's due to low usage and the challenges involved in maintaining a successful product that meets consumers.
Failed miserably and want to give up now.
Exactly. I can't even talk about this straight face anymore.
So they make it Google minus.
Exactly.
Just rebranded Google minus. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's funny because I don't know anybody who used Google Plus. Not a single person. However, I'm sure there are people that did use it, and for those people, I feel sorry for because Google positioned it as an all-usage platform. Of course, right? Put your pictures on, put your videos on, whatever, so forth, so on. Well, if you invested in that system, as some other people have, you have to scramble now to get all your pictures and all your videos off from that platform before they basically delete it. And I think it's a cautionary tale about loading everything you have into these storage facilities, these online storage facilities, because number one, they have all your data. They can just hit delete and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, it's I think this is their experiment of trying to do Facebook. I think that was the original thought is to compete against the Facebook. I think them failed, but apparently, if you do have Google Plus, you have until April to grab all your stuff, you can download your account apparently before they delete it, and also if you have videos and photos in Google Plus albums, and archive, they will be deleted as well. So, but it's not going to affect all your Google backups. So, if you do have if you do have an account that's connected to a Google Plus, you definitely have to find out if it's going to be deleted. So, if you do started, I think the way you find out if you click on your account and just click on the icon in the top right-hand corner, and you can actually see if you're actually part of that. So, fair warning, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be shut down in April.
So I know, Leonard, that you yourself don't use Google Plus, but I think you are the type of guy who does use these online storage mediums and so forth and so on. Am I correct?
Yes, I do have a Google Drive as well that I use, but I actually the only time I use Google Drive, if like for example, if I use Google Docs, that's the only time I use it. But it is part of Gmail or part of every time. As soon as you get an account from Google, you do get 5 gigs automatically, and you just use it, right?
Which is great, but I think about this and I go, I'm not going to load my personal videos and photos and all that onto a service which by their terms and conditions is their property at that point. And then thus you're transferring the right to that material to them technically.
Yeah, it is. So there's actually a couple of servers out there that actually sort of it's just a storage medium. It doesn't mean that they own the content on it. Like for example, Dropbox, you own the content that you put into that virtual drive. But the weird thing about the service and conditions on that service is the U.S. government has access to your account. That's the only caveat in that service.
Is that Dropbox?
That's Dropbox, yeah.
Okay. And when you say they have access to it, is that just from like a legal perspective, or is that?
Yeah. So, for example, if the U.S. government has a warrant to see your data in Google servers, that's Dropbox. They will give it to them. So
it's an interesting question. Would Google hand over your information or all your private stuff? It's sort of that question about Gmail and Facebook and things like that. Like, what information are they handing over, right? Which is probably a larger conversation.
Yeah, exactly. Well, again, according to the email that came out, that they are deleting everything. So I'm not sure if they're going to delete it to all their servers across the world, or they're just going to delete it and hope that it will trickle down to the rest of their servers, right? Because
if you got Google Photos, then you should be covered.
Yes, no, that's correct. Yeah, if you have Google Photos, it will not be deleted. But if that I think how it works, if you have photos in Google Plus, then it will get deleted.
Yeah.
So it gets really tricky. So. Fair warned. That's all I can say. Sorry, guys.
To worry about.
I know. If you're a Google Plus subscriber, well, good luck. Oh, power to you.
So, should be backed up and external anyway. So.
Oh, exactly. Well, Platinum's actually saying that there's a benefit of those type of storage. There is a benefit of having cloud storage. The good thing is it's not local, right? So Derek, I'm not sure if you remember, if you want to store something properly, you have to store it in near you and the cloud or somewhere off premises, right? So if you're just a consumer, the best way to store your stuff is in the cloud, right? And because people don't normally have a finite. They only have finite amount of storage locally with them. So, do you guys store stuff on the cloud?
Not as much as I used to.
Why not?
I guess since I switched to Samsung, I haven't had to.
How about you, Derek?
Sorry, I didn't have the mic on. Chad, do you keep most of the stuff on the SIM card in your phone then?
Yeah.
How big is your storage though?
I think I have a 64 gig in mine.
Yeah. Plus, I have a terabyte external too.
Okay. How often do you do backup? Do you normally, when you back up stuff, are you pretty diligent about backing your content up, or you're just do it when you run out of space in your phone?
If I think about it, I do it once a month.
How about you, Derek? Apparently that Chad does it once a month. How about you, Derek? Once a month as well, or is it automatic?
No, not generally. I mean, in my family, my partner usually does the majority of the picture taking and so forth, and she backs up quite regularly. In fact, obsessively. So I don't really need to because most of the family pictures or whatever aren't stored on my phone and doing that way.
Well, for me, I do have a paid subscription to Dropbox. Because I do a lot of photography work, so I do have I used to have my own server at my place, but just the upkeep of it is just getting to the point it's just too much. So I decided just to move everything in the cloud.
So why would that be? Because I mean, how much storage would you have within? You could buy an off-the-shelf server, which wouldn't be excessive. Are you just talking about it dying after so long, or?
Yeah, because I had a server already died on me twice. So that was a pain. So thank God I had another server that's actually backing up twice. So after it died twice, I decided to move everything to the cloud and actually helped a lot. So well, now I have a terabyte on the cloud, so I just dump so my computer automatically dumps everything on my Dropbox account. My phone does the same thing too, so I don't rely on Apple or Google to do my backup. Yeah. Chad, I think someone's chatting at the background.
They can hear you.
Well, tell them the cat's sitting on the boobs won't get up.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our special guest, Chad, and his partner.
The cat's sitting on her head.
Oh, okay.
You may hear the cat more than anything.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so I was saying that all my backup goes to the cloud, and that's the only way I can keep it until otherwise.
How much do you pay for that?
I am paying $150 a year.
Wow.
So because when I transfer all my content to the server, it took me almost 20 days to upload them all, and it has out of that 1 terabyte, I'm using about 800 gigs already for storage. So I collect a lot of data, but the thing is, it's data that I use a lot, so it syncs, right? So
here's a question: why wouldn't you then perhaps do something like get a terabyte USB stick or something like that, or get 2 of them and then use them as dual backups or something, and then keep one in a different location, like your family, your parents, whatever. I just wonder if that's it's $150 a year, man. That's a lot of money to put down.
it is. I did thought about doing the off-prem storage, like moving hard drives around. The only problem with that is like I got used to having access to my data anywhere in the world. Right?
Here's another question: would you not have like Google storage with like 5 gigs or whatever for free or whatever?
Actually, that's a good question. Google Drive is actually really slow. It doesn't sync very well. It syncs your data very, very slow. Like for example, I did a test between Dropbox and Google. I put the same. I think I put a 200 meg file for both drive. Dropbox upload and sync to all my devices in less than a minute, and Google Drive was still not even syncing yet, or it hasn't even been uploading yet. So if I want something fast and convenient, then Dropbox is the answer. And the 5 gigabyte free version they have works really well, but I did outgrown that pretty fast. Right, so having off-prem is good. Cloud is better. Again, I have access to it right anywhere. So, yeah. Okay. Any last thoughts?
I guess that would work for instance, you or a professional photographer. It would be worth that service.
It does work. It does really work because right now all my photos on my phone do get uploaded to Dropbox. Not automatically. I refuse to make it automatic. So yeah, because I do choose which one goes to the cloud and what gets deleted, right? So, okay. So, any final thoughts for this Google Plus before we call that useless topic done? Okay. So here's the big one. I'm hoping that Chad and Derek can put a light into this next topic here. Magic: The Gathering card sold for $87,000 in eBay. A card named Black Lotus from the very first Magic Gathering set released in '93 was recently put on auction on eBay. The bidding ended at a whopping $87,672. So if you guys don't know what Alpha Black Lotus is, it's a very limited run. Only 1,100 copies were sold. It was a very rare card. This Black Lotus is. Oh, God, I'm ready.
See, this is our problem. We don't know exactly what this card does. If this is like you put this card down and you beat everything, okay, I get why the guy paid $87,000 for it. Okay, I get it. But to be honest with you, otherwise, if it doesn't beat every hand in the game, then I don't know, man. I'm not sure about that.
It's kind of weird though, because apparently there's actually 3 releases, and if you play Magic, if I remember correctly in high school knowledge here, guys. There's an alpha, beta, and limited parts like series. The alpha is the first one. Beta was released to fix the alpha, all the mistakes that they had, and after they released the ultimate with both alpha, beta, but this time instead of having a black border, it's a white border. Right?
I have a question though about this piece, because and maybe this price has changed. I don't know. It was a long time ago. It's probably worth a lot more now, but I don't even know if a Wayne Gretzky rookie card would go for $87,000.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. So Chad, you might know that. What do you know?
Wagner's card's the most expensive.
Whose card? Sorry.
Honus Wagner.
How much is that running at now?
It's a couple million. Wayne Gretzky had it at one point.
Gee.
Yeah.
I'm checking Gretzky's rookie card.
I only asked this, and that's just because I'm a Gretzky fan. But yeah, I'm old, guys. Yeah. But I look at that and I go, I understand that's limited edition. I understand there was only 1,100 made, and that doesn't make it for a lot of them. And they probably won't come up very often. But whoever this person is 2 things. 1, very rich, and 2, obsessed with Magic.
Yes. Oh, I got your answer. Wayne Gretzky card was sold. Well, it's worth $465,000.
Damn.
Gretzky top card, the TOPS card, it's reached to $200,000. So it really depends on what kind of card you got from Wayne Gretzky's.
I have got to ask my friend who has one just to will it to me then, because I didn't know it increased that much.
Well, here's the thing though. Like, I noticed that I remember growing up, card collecting was very, very, very big. Like, especially for the Jays, for example, World Series Jays. The Leafs, like any cards that's out there, especially rookie years, are very, very like expensive, or getting out there, especially if you have if they made it to Hall of Fame, right? So this Magic cards thing is just baffles me. Like, I can't believe someone actually pays for this amount of money for a piece of cardboard that doesn't do anything.
Well, the Honus Wagner card is $3.12 million.
Jeez. See, that makes more sense. That makes more sense than anything else. Right?
And here's the other thing. I mean, I'll give credit to this Magic card, seeing that there was a picture of it. It looked like it was in pretty good condition, right? Most baseball card people, they keep their stuff pretty mint, right? So if you're buying something like that, it's generally as good as the day it was purchased, right?
Yeah. Well, I agree. Especially if as you say, if they keep it really, really.
It's in a plastic sleeve.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this in the screen so everyone can see this. But yeah, it is. To be honest with you, it is a very beautiful card. I remember seeing this before, while I was playing in high school.
The question is, what is the ability of the card? I wasn't able to read it based on the screenshot that was there.
Okay, it adds 3 mana of of any single color of your choice to your mana pool, then disregard. Tap this. I have no clue how to play this thing.
Well, from what I'm hearing there, I mean, I'm not a Magic person, and though I would like to learn, I'll say that it's something that I've been asking my friend to teach me for a while.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it's a very versatile card in the game where you can basically play it against pretty much anything you want, right?
Oh, exactly. Exactly. It's
I think
supposed
it's
to
under
be.
the category of like stack building cards, where you evolve your cards and your weapons.
Well, Magic's a game, I believe, that you can really build a personalized deck,
Yeah.
and you can build a character around that deck, or you can, do a number of different things with it. It's one of those type of things that two games are never the same, and that is probably where it's interesting.
Yeah.
Sort of like Dungeons and Dragons, like you never played two similar games.
The
Mark
birthday
has a-
boy is here.
That's the best.
So shall we sing
you
now, or just get this over with now, guys?
No. Again, let's not do it right now.
Yeah.
Let me settle down first.
So a little recap. We're actually talking about the Magic card here. So, do you have any exposure on this, Mark, regarding the Magic sets and all that
Okay.
good stuff?
I got Yu-Gi-Oh sets. I did have a set of Magic. I had a set of Pokemon. But yeah, I'm not surprised that card sold at that much. When you have a limited run of something, it will generate. Oh, come on, Leonard, you know this. I've been collecting comic books. I've been collecting action figures. You know what? Did you realize that Skeletor from the He-Man series, the original Skeletor toy, sold for $2,000 a couple of years back?
Still in the case, though, right?
No, it was an open box. It sold for $2,000.
I could have got $2,000 for that.
All my set, like my whole collection of Masters of the Universe, is now in the Philippines.
So we're selling it there.
Wait, I'm like,
Time to definitely send it back.
I gotta get them to send. I gotta go there and get it back. Like, so, I mean, if people, well, think about it. Hornus Wagner's baseball card.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Yeah.
$2 million for it now.
How much that?
3.2.
3.2.
3.12.
3.2, right? Action Comics #1. Detective Comics #1. I actually have a comic book, First Gambit. So the first time Gambit appeared with the X-Men. If I get my comic book graded, and if it's graded high, like close in the 9.8, almost 10, I think it's worth like $500 to $900 for a comic book. So again, the rarity of that card can garner that price. 1,100 have been made throughout the whole world.
Yeah, but like, I understand it's a collector's item, but I don't understand why a person is willing to spend something like that.
Because people have people have money, and if they have money and they want it, they will buy it. Just
And if
so
you're
that
a
they
collector, you want everything. So
Well,
think about it.
would you guys willing to pay for it though? If you're
if
Magic,
I was interested in it, probably.
Yeah, if I was into Magic, and I wanted that card and I didn't have it for my collection, then yeah, I would want it. And if I had the money, I would buy it. But just give me one moment. Just hold that thought. I gotta look for something here. Give me a second here.
yeah. So, yeah, that's just, I don't know, guys. I understand sports memorabilia worth. But for the amount of the Magic card stuff, I don't have any of that. Right, so I don't know. Yeah, so yeah, Derek, you've been quiet there. What do you think about this fiasco of this Magic card stuff?
No, I was saying that it's somebody who has a lot of money to burn, somebody that magic is pretty important to them, or as Chad said, maybe some person who just wants something rare that they'll look at as an investment for later. And below, I gotta admit, anything over 87,000, I don't know. For me, that would be a lot to spend on something. I could think of a lot of other ways to spend $87,000. A lot more fun ways.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this article that I got didn't say who actually bought it. Yeah. Oh, this is a good investment. It's a good investment, right? Yeah.
Back to comics, they do say that number 2s are more expensive than number 1s.
You could get like a Hummer for that.
So, since Chad, when you mentioned that number 2s are a lot more worth than number 1s, can you provide an example on that? Or?
Because people will keep number 1s, and the number 2s are either in bad condition or lost, so they're usually worth more than first issue.
That makes sense. Okay, if that's the case, do you guys believe in those shows that does the Storage Wars, finding collector's item like that, or it's just one of those rare moments that it's a once in a lifetime find?
I'm sure that people do find stuff in those storages, but I also believe that, to keep the ratings up and so forth, they do a lot of stuff in the background. I don't know if you consider be planting and stuff like that, but to have every episode them find something of value or somebody finds some great thing. And also, I think sometimes when they take it to the appraisers are just like, hey, here's some money. Appraise it as something really high when you're like, I don't know if it really is that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, interesting enough, you get like Storage Wars, for example. They've done documentaries about, the people on there, like Dave, what was his name? Dave Canterbury or something like that. He was like a big guy, and he actually, I think he went bankrupt because he had an auction house or something that he did off the side. But he had a dispute with the company that makes the show, the producers, and then because we went bankrupt, he settled with them and went back on the show. So,
oh my God.
I'm sure it's a very, it's a volume business. When you see that, people buy like 3 or 4 storage rooms, and it's always a volume thing because you never know what you're going to get. Plus, the other thing is you have to have such a breadth of knowledge to know about things, to see the value in something, right? I mean, if I picked up that Magic card, I wouldn't have known it from anything else. Wouldn't have had a clue,
Do you guys? Well, I presume that everyone played Magic before, right?
No.
Probably
Mark,
15
I know
years
you.
ago.
Yeah, for me it was high school as well. Mark, you played before, right? Magic. Mark, hello. Hello.
I don't think he has a headset on yet.
Is it on? Okay. Well, his
Hello?
face. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Oh, stupid me. It was on mute.
So,
Okay.
yeah, the question
Yes,
is,
yes, I played Magic in high school. Like I
not
said,
religiously though, right? It's just
No, I was more into Yu-Gi-Oh! And back then, actually, no, I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Was after high school, but I was there. Yeah, it was back then. But getting back into what Derek was saying about Dave Hester. Dave Hester, filed a lawsuit for wrongful dismissal because he aired some grievances about the show. Being basically what these guys, this is their living. They go into auctions and they buy whatever they auction because they have thrift stores, and that's how they make their money. So basically, they look at something, they look at the value, and it's like, okay, well, all these cups, we can sell them for $1 each, right? And then they just start estimating on the show. But that show itself, yes, it was to keep it interesting. Yes, some of those things have been staged. From reports out there, and a lot. Again, it's just like you want the ratings, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't get to people aren't finding the right stuff in it, nobody's gonna watch.
I agree.
Right.
Okay. At least any last thoughts of this magic $85,000 card?
Well, I'm gonna keep an eye out for keep an eye out on the garage sales for that card.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Definitely.
seriously. Like, well, you heard about the guy who found an Apple II,
Yes.
At a garage sale?
Yes. Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I heard about that.
$10,000 computer right there. I had a buddy or somebody. Who was it? Was it a buddy of mine? I found somebody who found all these special collector Star Wars figures from Kenner back in the Kenner days, where if you purchase so many so like of the action figures, you get these coins, and then you can redeem those coins to get like a rare figure. And they found a whole box load of that figure. Right, so there's a diamond in the rough. Sometimes going to a garage sale, it's great, especially when it's an older house and there's like saying, oh yeah, we're just getting rid of my dad's old stuff. You dig in because you might find something in there that's worth, quite a bit of money.
I've got a three-fingered baseball glove. I have no idea how much it is.
How much? What do you have? Sorry.
A three-fingered baseball glove.
Is it one of the who's the manufacturer? Is it Wilson or?
I'll say Rowlings, I think.
Oh.
A three-fingered baseball glove?
It's what they used back with Babe Ruth.
Yeah, that's
how they
really
were back
old.
then.
Is it still pretty good condition? Is it like leather? Like it should be leather,
It's
right?
leather, but there's a big rip in the webbing.
Well, hey,
Wow.
you never know. You should get that. You should get that checked out. It might cost like $87,000. Let's move on, shall we? This is a good one here, guys. I think you like this one. Okay, ready? Instapot smart Wi-Fi model will now work with Google Voice Assistant. Instant Pot Wi-Fi cooker already let you monitor and control it from the Instapot mobile app. But this time you can control it through the Google Assistant voice command. So now if you're planning to cook through your Instapot, you can just ask Google to find out if it's being burned or if it's ready. This IoT stuff is like really great in the future, but I can't wait for this crap. Like they're trying to put everything in your voice assistant. It's great, but at the same time, your Instapot. I have one, but it's not the Wi-Fi version. I know how to stand up and walk to my kitchen. You guys really need one of these?
I just fired Alexa the other day.
Oh yeah?
And
Well-
she says, oh, what did I do? Or what do I do now?
Oh, jeez. But yeah, so Instapot did announce this during CES. So if you do have a Instapot with a Wi-Fi, wait for the update. You might start getting Google to let you know that your food is ready. Do you guys?
Everybody has a nose.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. So the question I have for you guys: do you guys actually? Is this going overboard, or this is this revolutionized, or this is the next step of IoT in your kitchen or in your
This
house?
is a downgrade to humanity.
Okay. Think about let's. You're talking about okay. Let's talk about Samsung and their fridge.
God, I hate that too.
Okay. Do I have to say more? It's awesome. It says, okay, well, you're running out of milk. Okay, they'll put it on your order for you or whatever. What about remote? Here's the best thing. Like we're taking a look at Instapot and Wi-Fi commands and it being connected to Google and everything like that. How's this? How did you used to change your channel on your TV before?
You
Get up
stand
and
up.
change it.
Yeah.
You get up and change it. And guess what we do now?
I still get up and press a button.
Because you can find your remote.
That's the only, you get up to find the remote, and that's it. And the remote could be right beside the TV, and you still will point that remote to change your channel.
Well, okay. In that
So,
defense, though,
we can't this is where society is going. We're actually, don't forget, the Jetsons TV show, the cartoon, the Jetsons. All right? Star Trek, your favorite show, Star Trek, and the food replicators. All right?
It has no nutritional value.
No nutritional value, but guess what? It's voice commands now. You know, so
I'm not denying that. It's great. I can't wait for this thing to like mature. But if you look at, I don't know. I think I'm just being old and just being an old guy now. But I like technology, but
You have to consider what you're making it for, though. I mean, come on. Okay, so what? You could turn it on or something like that. You've had to put the food in there to be able to turn it on. You're physically standing there. You would turn it on.
If you're handicapped,
It's trying to solve something a problem that doesn't exist. Right? It's simply putting a bell and whistle on something. For me personally, I'm waiting for the electronic arms that make you dinner. There's this, I don't know what it's called, but there's this robot where you can mount it in a kitchen, and it will actually make you dinner, literally, and it'll clean up after itself.
See, that makes more sense, though. That makes more sense.
And it does. And here's the thing: it can be programmed to various recipes and so forth, and it actually has articulating arms. It's not like some bizarre robotic thing. It actually looks like two human arms, and it even makes you dinner and so forth. I wish you had the link for it. But that's the future I'm looking for. And all this other stuff is going to be the wayside as soon as that technology comes into play.
But then you don't get that feeling when you actually made a meal that you enjoy.
I am happy to let the robots make my food for me. Damn, man. I am happy.
So you just want to wake up in the morning,
Don't make it the same every single time. So if you like it a certain way, it'll make it that way every single time. And that's the way I want it.
So in other words, when you wake up...
on you?
I want to have my omelet sitting on the plate, on the table when I wake up.
So you can literally just tell.
Terminator started.
Well, that's actually we had this discussion in the show before regarding AIs and how AIs actually try to like evolving and
don't
like.
get me started.
Yeah.
Do not get me started.
I remember the conversation. I know.
Do not get me started on that.
So
But this isn't AI. This isn't. I mean, it sort of is in a sense. I mean, it runs a program, and actually, these dishes that it has and its programming, what they do is they have a professional chef who goes through the physical motions of creating it, and the robot obviously observes and so forth, and then repeats those steps. Right,
Leonard, I think I just sent you the link.
So yeah,
so if you have these robotic arms make you a stir fry, but then it gives you scrambled eggs.
Well, obviously, if there's something wrong with the technology, but then I would ask the first question: did I select the wrong dish? Like, seriously.
Well, to be honest with you, I think the robot kitchen thing will be used mostly for NASA or space guys.
No,
we're not going to see it probably later on, right? So
no, they can't use it out in space.
No, it doesn't work that way.
What are they?
Yeah, they can use it as back scratcher for now.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you want your food? Here's your MRE. Open it.
Here's some water. Go hydrate your feet, right?
The only use I can understand would be for handicapped or retirees.
Well, I mean, look at it this way. I mean, and that's a good point. I think it would be in a support facility or something like that. It's very expensive, of course, right? And the amount of dishes it can make. And also there's a question of, and again, I only saw a brief demonstration of it. How does it restock the fridge? Because it can actually go in the fridge and recover items and to make and so forth. And, it was pretty cool. I mean, obviously they've made it to look good, and the technology isn't quite there yet. But believe me, I'll put down the $20,000 for it, no problem.
$87,000 worth of robots.
There's my $87,000 right there.
Right. Oh, so you'll spend You'll spend that on kitchen arms, but not on a.
Instapot that's cost like quarter of the price. Not even a quarter, like 1% of the price. So you guys are game for this then. You guys are pretty cool about having IoT on your appliance, getting ready for the future.
No.
No, I'm okay. Maybe I am making an immense contradiction because I've just said I'm a robotic arms in the kitchen making me dinner. So I admit that. Having said that, okay, preface this by saying that at this moment I don't have them, so I have to get up and turn on the crock pot or whatever.
Oh no, you gotta do it the old-fashioned way. Stand up and press a button.
It's like Mark said. It's the evolution. It's the evolution. Right now, I still got to get up and grab the remote.
It is.
Well, they may end up giving you cat food instead.
I mean, like again, it's so hard now. Like things are gonna evolve, and think about it: self-driving cars.
Oh man, people
Right.
can't even drive.
For the record, I'm totally down for that too. Self-driving cars. Seriously.
People can't even drive. How is it supposed to be automatic?
Well, I
can
think
drive,
that's gonna
just,
be.
I can drive, just no one lets me. So see, for me, this is an important thing, right?
Do I really want to be on the road when you're driving?
Seriously, I am a good driver. Just no one lets me drive.
It's like that episode of Big Bang Theory.
Okay, Derek, road trip, Montreal, road trip. You can drive.
Vicky doesn't agree.
6 hours. You can drive the whole
Vicky does
5
not
hours.
agree.
It's like that episode of Big Bang Theory when Sheldon's trying to learn how to drive. They put him in a simulator. That's gonna be Derek in a simulator, and just see what
No,
happens.
all you have to do is see Derek and Vicky go kart.
Hey, I was very good at that. Vicky was a road hog, and she tried to knock me off the road there. That
Okay,
was it.
so Vicky is actually Chad's partner, so just keep that in mind.
Okay.
If you don't have a fifth, no,
Maybe they do have a point. Maybe Mark, you might want to see me go karting before let's do a progression here, just so you're
Okay.
comfortable enough.
Derek, I'm the one who sneezed and clipped the dump truck.
Nothing wrong with my brain.
Okay.
yeah.
I sneezed and I clipped the dump truck.
So he prefer having a self-driving car as well.
Who, me?
Yeah.
But having said that, in all seriousness, though, having said that, and admittedly the technology is not there yet. They're working on it, but it has the potential of reducing deaths every year, and it has the potential of opening up the convenience of driving to people that normally would not have it for either physical limitation or disability or whatever that might be.
Mhm.
Even elderly people who, can no longer drive, they had to have their license taken away from them, have had that independence their entire life, can still have that independence, right?
Well, true. But again, you see, the thing is with self-driving cars, even though it is self-driving, you still have to be able to control it. So,
For the time being, and I completely agree. I think though, once the technology advances enough, I think there'll be this tipping point where it will be more safe to be in a self-driving car lane than being in, another lane with somebody who's actually physically driving.
Mhm.
Depending on when the technology has a safety limit enough that it progresses.
I agree.
True.
It's a great stepping stone for to be fully automated for like humans, more lazy
Yeah.
and more productive.
No, I'm not saying self-driving cars are not making people lazy. It is an actual safety piece here where our highways and roads become more safe, generally speaking, than if people were driving because cars don't get distracted.
I agree.
So my worry is, what if the system breaks down?
Well, I mean,
That's why-
obviously,
Then what?
that's why you need to be able to drive your car. You still need that. Well, think about it. Okay, just going back to cars, self-driving cars. What about just cars right now with all the other features? Blind spot checker, the system to keep you in your lanes, ABS, and all those things. You know what? Because of all of
did
this,
Vicky just yawn on our show?
um,
Are we that boring to her that she's yawning in the background there?
it just basically doesn't let people learn or learn the skills that they need for driving.
I
Okay,
agree.
so
I agree.
We're talking about having somebody learn a skill, and that might be a lost skill. And I agree, having that skill is something that's interesting. But what I'm talking about is the progression of the technology where we can eliminate that as part of a skill set that we need to learn in the context of safety and in the context of automation. So if you have 10 automated cars going down a highway, nobody's trying to get ahead of the other or so forth and so on. And it is more efficient in that way where traffic jams will be lessened, commute times will be different. Thank you for yawning again, Vicky. Jesus. Man, we got to up our game here, guys. Vicky is very bored.
No, we're not boring. It's just she's bored because she's doing homework.
Maybe.
In Demolition Man, they had self-driving cars, but you also had the option to drive them too.
See, that
And I
makes
don't
more
think it's gonna
sense.
go
That
away
one will make
anytime
sense.
soon. That won't go away anytime soon. And again, that may be part of the safety mechanism within it, right? Certainly.
Yeah. Okay. So
Or you turn on
we're
your car and it says, "Sorry, Dave, I can't do that."
yeah.
Oh, so who's been watching the chat?
You are.
It's responsibility, which she hasn't even looked at. So Cleveland is probably yelling right now,
Okay,
going,
hold on,
read
let's
me,
take a
read
look.
me.
I would pay. So the only person in our chat right now, again, would pay 87,000 for a robot chicken.
A robot chicken.
Sorry, kitchen.
Jesus, I was gonna say, am I missing something here?
Robot Chicken, the show?
Robot kitchen. Sorry about that. Okay, self-driving cars would be safer than human driving. Your self-driving car can drive you home when you're drunk.
Yes,
that's a
it
good
does.
point.
Yeah.
No, you still have to be sober.
Well, again, we're talking about hypothetically here.
Yeah.
We're talking about total hypothetical here. If we're having a self-driving car driving you home, doesn't matter if you're drunk or not. It's like a very sophisticated Uber or Lyft.
Yeah. I am all for self-driving cars. However, I would also want to have the ability to drive myself. It's enjoyable. Definitely.
Yeah.
Like a lot of
Agree.
people enjoy driving. Right?
Then what about the flying car?
Ooh, I'd definitely get one of those.
I don't know about that at this moment, though. Flying cars, I mean, very cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm totally into it. But I think that would serve me more. What the heck is Vicky doing? Is she cleaning your kitchen?
Yeah. Can you let her know we're actually doing a show here that's being televised?
She's cleaning the kitchen instead of a robot.
Can you mute your mic while Chad, if you don't
Yeah.
mind? If you can.
So
Well,
I'll
actually,
tell you.
either way, we're almost done anyway. So, final thoughts in this IoT Instapot thing.
I'll probably buy one just for the hell of it. I don't know. If I was gonna buy an Instapot, I'm gonna definitely buy the Instapot that has all the bells and whistles. I'd buy one.
I got one, but it does not have the Wi-Fi feature because I didn't know about it. If I knew about it, then I'll definitely get one of those instead.
See, it's basically that's how it is. It's like we're gonna just buy it because we can buy one now and it's available, and if it's the same price, why not, right? So
I really want to press the button. That's all I want to do. I'm old-fashioned. I want to have the tactile sensation of pressing the button. I'm just
okay. You know what, Dick? You'll have that because basically all you have to do is put all the food in still, close the pot, and you press the button, start it. Because there's something definitely wrong with you if you actually put all the food in, you close the pot, and you walk away from it, and you sit down and say, "Hey Google, turn on the pot." You know, there's definitely something wrong.
Yeah. Okay, guys, we're pretty close to the end now. Mark, you said that you want to do a show and tell before we sign out. You said
Let's see what came in today. Let's keep what hit. Ooh, there it is.
you actually bought it.
Whoa. Yeah. The Rode mic. Let's see if this is gonna work.
So the reason why Mark actually has new gear because he's getting ready for his new show that we're going on air in 2 weeks. So stand by for that one.
February 24.
February 24th, we're going live, so we'll give you more information when we get back from the holidays. So, okay, guys, any last words before we go?
Yeah. Sorry I was late.
That's
I
fine.
actually
It's
felt-
understandable. It's your birthday.
I actually fell asleep.
Robot check-in next time.
Hey,
I
you,
talked about the-
yeah, you should remember your birthday next time, eh? And let us know like in way in advance.
Yeah. Well, put it. It's like we all went out to dinner last night. I after work today, I had to go to my parents' place to pick up Riley, and I fell asleep.
You bugger. Okay.
Dude, what time am I up? Come on,
I
honestly,
know,
what time
I
am I
know.
up every morning?
I know.
You know, while doing this, I still do have a full-time job, just like everybody else.
Yeah.
But I get up at 3:30, 4 o'clock every morning.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
Okay.
I'm
Sorry,
at
go
work
ahead.
by 6:30.
Oh my god. Yeah. I'm still asleep at that.
Yeah,
By that
see?
time.
I thought I got up early.
Yeah. Okay, guys, that's all we have for today. I just want to say thank you for Chad for joining us today, and I want to say
Hi,
happy
Chad.
birthday.
By the way, I'm Mark.
Oh, I forgot you guys haven't met yet. This is why we have a pre-production first before we go into the show. What is that?
Sorry.
Yeah, so Chad, Mark, Chad. Okay, so
What's
I
this,
just
a
want
dead
to
cat?
yeah, it's a dead cat. It's a win. If you guys are not watching the video portion of this podcast, is actually is showing the a dead cat. It's actually just a wind muff. So, Chad, I just want to say thank you for joining us.
Thanks,
You're
Chad.
definitely welcome to come back again. We definitely want you to come back. If you guys are watching this podcast live, you can watch. Sorry, we do record this podcast live, so you can watch us on YouTube and Twitch every Monday at 9 p.m. Except next week. Next week is the holiday, so we're just gonna run reruns. We'll be back the following week after that. You can also download this episode or any other episode at your favorite podcasting application. Just search for Radio9 Podcasting Network. So,
And
thank you guys.
And if you also don't forget, there's also what, just Twitch and YouTube only, right?
Right now we're doing Twitch and YouTube. For the podcast, you can find us in Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Beanpass. Yeah, all of them. We have all of them now, so you can download all the episodes from there.
Oh, and what about our gaming channel? We still don't have that up.
Gaming channel, we'll get that up and running soon, but probably by the time Mark's show goes live, we'll have
Okay.
that up and running. Okay?
Yeah, you guys gotta see some gaming.
Yes. So thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next week or in 2 weeks at the Coffee Mug Show here at the Radio 9 Podcast.
All right, good night.